All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live. I want to thank you so much for joining me on the show right now. I appreciate you. First and foremost, let's talk about where the SPY is going. And it's very clear in the direction. If you look at the chart, it's going much, much higher. You know, I've been putting on this show for almost 2 years now. And obviously, the frequency at how much I've been doing it has, gone up and down. I'm more consistent than others, who have been in this field. Many have came and went. But one thing that you can't deny is how the stock market has been able to weather some of the, most aggressive, some of the most disgusting news, some of the most tragic news. And yet here we are at 317, actually after hours at 318, and poised to go much, much higher. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. What's going on, A Ranger? What's up, man? And since I started my show, the landscape has really changed, right? The landscape in regards to what guys trade. We've seen penny stocks go from something that were just in these incredible liquid vehicles that you could talk about day in and day out to now they're pretty much dead. I've seen traders come with 20,000. Now they're not trading anymore. They've given up on trading. So, it's really kind of one of those things where I don't know where this is going anymore. I mean, not in terms of what I'm doing, because I started Millionaire Trading Academy. It's really taken off. Shout out to all the people who've joined, and we're kind of doing our own thing over there and still doing, of course, the show as a pipeline. But I want to know what you guys are doing. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, what are you trading? Are you being successful in your trading? For the people who are in my academy, I know, right? Because, obviously we're having those conversations. They've committed capital to learning my strategy. But what are you guys doing? Like, what are you guys trading? Are you making money trading? How are you trading? Those are conversations that I'd like to have with you guys again, because, what I've just noticed is that the lack of frequency when it comes to even Twitter, like guys just aren't posting tickers anymore. And these were people that for a long time were trading regularly. Now I don't see them trading at all. And I understand that the stock market has a very strong and difficult learning curve, right? There are a lot of people who start and eventually just don't figure it out. And they end up having to take their ass home, or having to start over, and that's hard to do. That's hard to do. And as someone in my position who is a talking head, when you don't have people who are actively trading, you don't know whether or not you're serving them with useful information. You know what I'm saying? What's on, Ghetto Investor? He said Martin has got it. Most people don't have enough money to stick around and learn. God damn, isn't that the awful truth, man? Isn't that the awful truth? And that's kind of one of those things where I just kind of am jealous about certain other traders who have television shows but come from other demographics, because they have a base of people who have money. And unfortunately, it is what it is, that a lot of people who look like me don't have a lot of money to trade. And, I've seen it here personally. I saw it in Detroit, where I tried to have seminars, and people come to my seminars and couldn't afford, a $20 ticket, man. I try to do that in Detroit, where I try to put together a seminar. And, hey, man, I'm interested in trading. Oh, well, it's only $20 to enter. They couldn't even give me the $20 to enter. It's tough. It's tough. And it's disappointing. What's going on, Savvy Strands? You know what I'm saying? Can't wait to play with her butt tomorrow. She's going to kill me for saying that. But she got a big old booty, though, man. I can't wait to have her on the podcast one day if she lets me. She got a big old behind, but I love me some Savvy Strands. Turn me into, you guys already know my show. I've always been a titty man. But she's got a big old behind. So all of a sudden now I'm a booty guy for now. But I still love what I love. And we got a conversation where we're talking about going to Dr. Miami to give her some double G breasts. I think it's double G is what we're looking for, or maybe double T. I don't know. But she's willing to get it if I'm willing to pay. That's what she says. Anyway, that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, man. So it's hard, man. And Martin is so right. Getting back to Martin's point, man. People don't have enough to stick around, and the problem also, my group is not willing to put in the time to learn too, man. It's really hard to find brothers who are willing to put the time in to learn. Those of you guys who are in the show right now, those of you guys who watch my videos when they first come out, you guys are a different breed of dudes, man. Like, you guys are a different breed. Like, you're different. You're guys who like to read, you like to study, you like to read charts, you're a different type of dude. And you guys know that yourselves. You know that yourself. You're like, man, I'm different from a lot of these cats out here. And I know you feel that. I know you feel that. But it's a lot of those different, guys who've been able to keep me going and keep me inspired to do what I'm doing. But it just sucks that I have, honestly, can admit that I've failed in being able to take somebody who maybe is not someone who would like to read, who is not someone who would like to study, and bringing them to the other side. I think I haven't done that good of a job. And maybe there's somebody out there who can say that I was able to kind of get them started and running in this. And I appreciate that. Maybe I haven't heard from you, but I would appreciate that if there's somebody out there like that. I appreciate you, really do. But that hasn't mostly been the case. The case is you'll have a guy show up, he'll, for whatever reason, he found me on my old video, so he still thinks I'm trading 000s, and he runs around, goes and trades 000s, and now he's out the game, and it's like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't. That's a scam, my nigga. So and next thing you know, he's gone. Next thing you know, he's gone. So it's unfortunate. What's going on, Michael Black? Don't need to hit a home run to make $1 million overnight, just a few $100 made over and over. Absolutely, but it's so hard to get people to understand that, A-Ranger. It's so hard to get people to understand that, man. What's going on, Money Stay Woke? It's so hard to get people to understand, like, the $15,000 a day, the $20,000 a day that some of these guys are selling, they're lying to you. Like, somebody who is making $25,000 a day trading penny stocks is not going to turn around and ask you for $150 a month for their course. And you try to tell these brothers, I'm like, dude, like, you have to see the lies, and they can't see it. They can't see it. So they make 2 losing trades, 3 losing trades. Maybe they bust an account, and then they're gone. And it's like, no, dude, like, trades take time. Like, you might actually have to be in a ticker for 30 days, 90 days. The strategy I'm teaching at Millionaire Trading Academy, it's 30 days. I'd love to go out. I call myself on Twitter 60-day trading, because that's actually the preferred trading. But guys are so short-term focused, and I understand we're, for the most part, poor black people. So, poor black people are short-term oriented. Trading hours for dollars, because that's like, man, look, I'm just trying to get my 15 an hour or whatever. The idea of seeing, the it's hard. I'm sorry if I sound frustrated, man, because I'm just trying to get people to click on to the right thing. That's why I put out a video yesterday on the incredible, self-persistence, the rules that Jewish people implement, the self-discipline, that's the word I'm looking for, the self-discipline that Jewish people have to create the self-sufficiency that they've been able to do for themselves and their group over the last, 2,000, 3,000 years. I'm trying to instill that into my generation, right? People who look like me. Because I'm telling y'all right now, man, like 100 years from now, heck, 25 years from now, y'all, you can't be blaming the white man, man. Like, seriously, it's this, that game has got maybe 10 years left. There's about 10 years left on that game. And at a certain point, it's just like, okay, like, are we just going to continue to say, okay, they kept us in poverty, or it's going to have to, there's going to have to be a transition where it's like, okay, I'm not going to be someone who participates in the consumerism. I'm just going to make my little money that I make on my job. I'm going to study my ass off in a craft that I can specialize in and be able to sell and provide as a good and a service. And then from that, I'm going to get a stake, right? Get a stake and invest it and find a way to multiply that income. Eventually, you have to move to that. Eventually, as an individual, not even as a group, forget the group, as an individual, a decision has to be made to go into that. I made that decision several years ago. I still talk about racism and shit like that to please some of you, because some of you still want, you still like that, to hear that. But eventually, a shift's got to be made, man. So are you going to come on this journey with me or not? But we can't be so short-sighted because you don't have enough money to be short-sighted. Being short-sighted in trading is because you've got a shitload of cash. A lot of people have a lot of things backwards. If you're short-sighted, it's because you've got cash to lose. You got $50,000 that you can burn through, then fine. Take a 5-minute trade in Apple. Take a 20-minute trade shorting, some shit penny stock. But if you only got $2,000, $2,500, $1,500, man, you need to be looking at something through the lens of 90, 180, 6 fucking months. You've only got $3,000. A 10% loss, that's huge for you. You can't afford it. You can't afford that, man. And trying to teach people that it's hard, man. It is hard. I'm dealing with some of the poorest people in America, man. I'm dealing with and people don't get that. I know some of y'all watching this got money. I get it. You're the outlier. Congratulations to you. And I clap for you. But if you have common sense, based on my skin color, right, that I attract a particular group of people, right? And it's just it's natural attraction. You're going to see somebody in that space who looks like you, but that mindset's I got to break that mindset, man. And I need that mindset to be broken. That short-term idea of quick, I got to get some money fast. I got to get some money fast. It's not going to work. That's why every generation's just got to start over and over and over again. One generation has to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to be the guy who's just going to buckle down and just be like, all right, I'm not playing this shit anymore. I'm just going to save. I'm going to invest slowly. So I may not be the baller in my family, but at least my next generation is going to be able to get something from me. You know. What's going on, Master Shonuff? Said people need to drop the get rich quick, especially, man. Yeah, it was a very slow day on the markets overall. Nothing much was going on. We're going higher for no reason. Well, obviously, we do know that the Federal Reserve is propping up the markets right now. So, as I said on my last show, this is the easiest money you'll ever make, guys. We're back to 2017. I'm selling puts. This is the easiest money you'll ever make. We're not going to get any real breakdowns, right? You can't even get it. You can't even get a real red day. I mean, you get people panicking on 1%. A 1% day gets people panicking. You can see it on CNBC. They're shaking in their boots because they know it's not legit, but you're not going to see what we saw back in October of 2018, because you got to remember the market wasn't being propped up at the time. What caused that 2018 collapse was the interest rate being, adjusted higher. All right, let me get those Keltner channels out of there. All right, interest rates being adjusted higher. That's what caused that. Right, and what we learned then and what we already know now is that corporate debt is at the highest we've ever seen, right? I think we're triple B now. I think we're triple B across the the corporate, of course, corporate debt. That you'll never raise interest rates. You can't. We're going straight to zero, period. They came out and said, well, there's not going to be a cut next year. Blah, blah. Let me tell you something right now. If this market goes back, if the SPY goes to 290, if we go to SPX 2900, oh, you better believe there's a cut coming. I don't give a damn what the market, I don't give a damn what Powell says, what these guys on CNBC say. They can't stand the idea of the market coming down. They can't stand it. I mean, you got people who have their whole lives in the stock market, man. I don't. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, you have these signature private loans, right? SPLs, I believe is what they're called at Wells Fargo and some other banks, where you can lend money, right, or be lent money rather, against your stock portfolio. If your stock portfolio declines to a certain percent, the bank can call in the loan. Now, if I'm an independent, wealthy investor, I got strings that I can pull in DC. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I can to manipulate the market because I can borrow that money. And again, you guys have seen the commercials. Interactive brokers, 1.5% on your money on margin. 1.5%. You got 25 million bucks. I can borrow more capital at 1.5%. That's cheap as fuck. You know? So there's no incentive for this to be a real market, man. But at the same time, I think 2020 can be different. I hope 2020 can be different for the sake of those of us who actually want a stake in this economy. Because valuations are getting out of control. I want to be able to have a stake in this economy, man. I want to be able to have 100 shares of Amazon, 1,000 shares of Amazon one day. I'd want to have 1,000 shares of company like Shopify or something like. I'd love to have that. Not necessarily just a couple option contracts. But when they're continuing to go higher and higher and higher, and you're like, damn, okay, I'm gaining money, but it's just running away from me. And the natural order of things is that, yeah, we have market collapses, which allow certain people who've been winning for a couple years or a couple decades to go out of business. So we get new opportunities. We get new winners, new leaders, a new gang of traders, a new gang. Recessions are great things. There are a lot of great new businesses that come out of recessions. Companies like Shopify are one of them. Square and all of those, these are great companies that come post-recession. What's going on, Woody Wright? Yeah, market is a pump, but goddamn, how long is the pump going to go? I don't know about y'all, but it's like, you're running up a hill that just keeps, getting bigger and bigger and taller and taller. You know what I'm saying? We need those guys at the top to lose eventually so that we can catch up. If you got 1 million, right? If he's got 1 million, you got 100,000. He makes his 10%. You make your 10%. He makes his. You're never catching up. He's got to lose 30%. I've got to be able to win because I'm more nimble, right? He can't go in and dump. He just can't switch directions like I can because he's a lot larger, right? His positions are huge. So he's going to take that L. But that L allows me the opportunity to be able to catch up. So that I can buy good assets at fair prices. Somebody mentioned Bank of America. I mean, for the most part, that's been doing its thing. But I'd love to buy NVIDIA at 60 or 40 or some of these kind of, where was it at back in the recession? Obviously, it was a much different company back then. But, I mean, look at that, $8. I'm sure that's split adjusted. But, those were companies that were, that go down in value and you're able to buy them and create a nest egg for yourself. If we want to be one of these guys with gray hair living down in St. Petersburg, Florida, with a boat, a wife, a second house, and we need a recession to happen. We need a recession to happen. Hell, we need a depression to happen. Otherwise, that's not going to happen for us. You're going to just continue to chase. Assets going to continue to grow in value, right? MMM or modern market theory or whatever it's called, that's the worst thing that can happen for us and our generation. Ghetto trader. Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right on that. I've been saying that for, again, since the market started running again. This is the easiest money you'll ever make. It's just one direction. Buy a deep in the money call on any one of these, except Amazon. Is Amazon running? I was going to say in any one of these FANG stocks. Yeah, Amazon's not even running. But in whether it be Apple or some of these other companies in the FANG, and you're going to make money. If I'm you, I'd probably stick with the indexes, the SPY. Easy. Paulie said, "Don't leverage bad margin call, then you'll have to start all over." Oh, absolutely. I mean, but those guys are using leverage on an algorithm-based trading system. You know what I mean? So if you're using leverage and you're in and out of a trade in 6 seconds, 7 seconds, margin calls is it's not even. I don't know. Is it even a thing for you? Is it even a fear? Remember, these guys are using black boxes. The days of having guys sitting there trading in front of a computer, a lot of that is long gone. A lot of that's long gone. You still have your trading dojos where guys kind of go in there and kick their own money. But on the institutional side, they're not doing that for the most part. And if they are doing that, it's because they have a 5 to 10 to 15-year window. You know? Ghetto investors say you see something, you have NVIDIA, but you're looking at a big pullback again. That'd be nice to get. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I've been making really good money, trading IWM and RUT, which are going nowhere. Thankfully, well, the nice move today, but had been going nowhere. Thankfully, because RUT and IWM, many of those companies cannot afford buybacks and are heavily indebted. Heavily indebted companies. Some of those companies are so full of shit. It's insane. All right. Speaking of RUT, I might have to look at an opportunity in RUT here soon, as it looks like it's overextended itself a little bit here. But I got an iron condor right now in crude that I posted on Twitter. You'll be able to see my trade, and that's something I teach at my academy, MillionaireTradingAcademy.com. It's the easiest. Again, another easy. I hate to use the word easy because we know what we're doing. So it's not quote unquote easy, but it's high probability trade. All right, and thankfully we've won out of the 4 months, every 4 out of 4 of those iron condor trades in crude. You keep telling people at your job you can't wait for the market to go down. They look at you crazy because of the 401k. Yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck, man. Look, these people had their time, dude. Guys out here in their 60s and 70s, they had their time. Look, these guys had their time to make more, all the money they get. Look, they saw Microsoft take off. They saw Amazon, Apple. These guys in their 60s and 70s have had they've seen some of the greatest wealth created in human history. I don't feel sorry for them at all. So a 40%, they lose 40% of their 401k. Fuck them, dude. They had great there was tons of time and opportunity. If you're in your 70s, you've seen some incredible wealth be created in this country. So don't come to me or say, well, what about our 401k? Dude, are you serious? Are you serious? Could have made millions. Netflix, Disney, could have made M's. I've been talking about futures options and stuff. This isn't something like that just got started, guys. Futures market's been trading since the early 70s. Look at this. You're going to go pull up the SPX index. It goes all the way back to 1971, bro. You can go back to 1971 on this chart. Right? And before then, you can go back to whatever hell we were using before that, just the pure Standard & Poor's. But look, they had their ups, they had downs. Look, I'm all the way back in 71 now. I'm seeing the yearly breakout here in 82. 82 to 86 was an insane year. Look at that. These people had money. They had opportunity to make bread, man. Look at this. 71 to 92. 71 to 92, bro. I'm looking at a 200 to, I think that was a 300% increase. Come on, man. I don't feel sorry for these people, man. I didn't feel sorry for them in 09. I'm definitely not going to feel sorry for them in the next recession. People had more than enough opportunity to make money. And if they say they didn't, they're lying to you. And the same thing, I'm going to have the same excuses. Well, I'm not going to have any excuses, but I'm not going to allow myself to have any excuses. But if I allowed myself to end up 75 years old with no money, they're going to say, well, look, all the damn companies you could have shorted, all those goddamn scams. You telling me that you couldn't take a couple thousand and short those blatant scams? That's what our grandchildren would say to us. Couldn't you see those companies that had, negative PE ratios? Didn't you see those companies that were highly leveraged and couldn't pay back their debt? Why didn't you short those, Dad? Grandpa? Why didn't you buy puts? What's going to be your excuse? Oh man, I don't know. I didn't want to lose money. Why didn't you buy gold, Grandpa? Man, I'd love to go back to the 1970s and buy some damn gold, man. I saw this ad. I was doing some research for my Jewish video, and I was looking at this Google, because like Google, you can go back and read like articles and stuff. And there was an article where people were selling gold for, nothing. I don't want to put out a price because I don't even believe it. It was something like $50, $60 or something just ridiculously cheap. If you look at gold across a 30 or 40 year time frame, it's just like, are you serious? Gold was really that cheap? It's been an incredible money making machine over the course of a 20, 30, 40 year window. And by the way, this is the breakout in gold that happened earlier this year. And look, and I'm watching gold because gold is hanging up there a little bit better than I thought it would. So we obviously got some buyers in gold here, because gold, I was fully expecting a breakdown in gold back to possibly even 1,300, but now I'm thinking gold is setting itself up to continue to run, because you got a lot of people who don't believe this rally, who don't believe the rally and think it could, and I posted something like that on Twitter too, where there's the mining stocks. We're starting to see them come out of the deep end. I think it's MUX. Okay, they're still shitting, but I'm continuing to watch McEwen Mining. I don't know. They might not make it. I don't know. You might not. But this is a stock that's been a beater before. But MUX, boy, if I see a turnaround in MUX, I'm going not all in, but I'm going in. MUX, boy, if you can get MUX when gold starts running again, man, it's just the money just like insane. Exactly, Michael Black. What's going on, Dawson Uber Eats? Shout out to Dawson Uber Eats in the car working. Eban R saying no money for retirement. What do you mean no money for retirement, man? See, I'm one of the few people who feel like I totally agree that your job should be able to provide you with a sense of financial security. But a part of me also believes that it's up to me to also stick some money aside to be able to put myself in a position to be able to have at least somewhat of a nest egg, right? To be somewhat of a nest egg, that I have to do something on my part, right? Whether it's create a side income or, invest in a more aggressive way. I just feel that way because I feel like employers, for the most part, they're not fair. They're not going to pay you. Appreciate you, Vix Crush, David Lincoln, for the donation. They're just not going to pay you what you're worth. They're not going to pay you what you're worth. I've worked these jobs. I know, I wasn't getting paid what I was worth. In fact, when a lot of times when you do the math, you realize you're getting paid about 30% what you're actually worth to the company. Whether if I go back when I was selling cars or when I was selling Verizon cell phones or what, I wasn't getting any real money. And I understand. I mean, I'm not the business owner. I'm not the CFO. And my job is to provide that skill that I have for a guaranteed certain rate that I've agreed with my employer for them to pay me. But when you start doing the math, it's like, God damn. Shout out to you, Eban. Yeah, if you have the ability to fire your boss, but that's for a lot of people, that's a wish. You know what I mean? And entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's a huge sacrifice. Huge sacrifice. But you got people who have 9-to-5s, who enjoy their 9-to-5s and make really good money at their 9-to-5s. But if you don't make good money at a 9-to-5, then the question has to be, can I develop a skill or a side hobby that can put me in a better position? Or at least, if you can make the same that you're making at the job, then do that. Because coming out of school making 45, after taxes, maybe 32, 33, with at the time, no deductions. It's like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to create some websites, push some ads, and made 40 my first year in 1099 income. In 1099 income, I learned that they don't tax 1099 income. So if you make 40, you make the whole 40. And then you learn that I can show losses on my taxes where I can actually get the government to give me money for losing money. Man, these tax laws are so set up for small business owners to make so much money. You can show that you're losing, and the government will say, okay, that was a losing enterprise, so you don't pay any taxes this year. It's crazy. So 9-to-5 is not good unless you're making at least $100 a year. It depends on where you live, man. Because if you're making $100 a year in New York, that ain't shit. Depending on where in New York. But man, that 1099 income, that's the hustle, man. That's the hustle. And the only reason I started learning about that is when I started really getting to know my barber. And my barber at the time, he's like, man, I'm 1099, man. I tell the government what I make. I don't even tell them. He's like, I don't even tell them all I make. They think I'm a struggling barber. This dude was so caked up. And a barber, I mean, again, it's not like, and the women have it even better because the women can do multiple hairs at the same time, right? And the women make way more money, but a barber, he's one hand at a time. But these guys are beasts when it comes to tax time. These guys who are independent sales, these guys who are out here doing your lawn care, you know what I'm saying? They know how to get some bread out that 1099. They know the hustle. One guy, and again, this was when I was living in Memphis. He had the small business game down pat, with the credit cards and all of that, man. Y'all can stop me anytime. I'm just kind of talking about some things right now. Whatever tickers you guys can throw out, you can throw them out. We'll look at them. I don't want you guys to think I'm not talking about trading. It's just today was a boring as fuck day on the markets. There was really nothing going on at all. All right. We got too many people still falling for this damn China deal bullshit. I can't stand that shit, man. And that just tells me that it's just machines. It's not even real people. I don't even think it's real people anymore who are just like reacting to the China deal. I think it's just the machines that are reacting to the social media commentary that's being put, because a lot of these algorithms now are taught to read social media. So they're able to make trades on a lot of Twitter commentary, stock twits. They're able to read blog posts. So they can position themselves to get in front of moves that they think may happen based on social media activity. Maybe one day in the future we'll learn that I'm right on that, but I think that plays a lot into it. No, I don't do my own taxes, one Mark DC. Hell no. No, I go to a well-paid white man. So if something happens, they can blame him, not me. Nope. I read too many history books for me to do my own taxes. And knowing my luck, they'd come right after my ass. Yeah, the guy who does my taxes, he's white dude. So I know they'll never come after me. And he's white. You know what I mean? John Hill. Okay, let's take a look at GE real quick. All right. The weekly chart looks real good. So I know the monthly chart looks even better. Oh, nice. Just crossed the 25. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. GE is a slamming buy here, man. GE is looking like a slamming buy here. Where's my... There we go. Yeah, GE's looking real nice. I'd love to see that get above that second, middle Keltner channel line. We got to get a close above that. That's the buy zone. That's the buy zone right there. So we got to get above the middle line of the Keltner channel. But again, loving to see a stock above the 10 moving average on the monthly, right? So this is 10 months of price action, and we're seeing GE above the 10-month moving option, or moving average, for the first time consistently 2 months in quite a while, and in many years. Wow, many years. Yeah, you got to go back to 2016 to see 2 consecutive months with a close above the 10-month moving average. That's what I like to see. Yeah, this is one you won't eat. I mean, I wouldn't day trade this, even though it's liquid as fuck. But I mean, you're gonna make a lot of money if this return is for real. I mean, this thing could, if they get a couple good earnings reports, I mean, this could go to 15, 16, 20 really, really quickly. You got buyers on the sidelines who'd love to jump back in on GE. Very well-known name, great American company. When these kind of plays turn around, they turn around real quick. You can go back to GM circa 2009 to see what I mean by that. Where the company comes from basically bankruptcy to where they're back at now. Is Robinhood a good app to trade out of? Yeah, if you don't have a lot of money, Robinhood is just fine. But if you're serious about trading, then I'd go to TD Ameritrade, because they're both free right now. If you would have asked me that 6 months ago, Robinhood, because it's free, but TD Ameritrade is free now too. So I'd do TD Ameritrade. Any stock dealing with electric cars like Cobalt is going to the bank. Yeah, I gotta see what they want to do. I mean, you gotta remember GE. Their first trip into electric cars didn't do so hot, right? I thought the vehicle wasn't very appealing, right? It was the GM Volt, if I'm correct. It didn't do a good job. It didn't do a good job. The Toyota did a better job with the Prius, but the Prius for the most part wasn't a big margin driver for them because the Prius for the most part is a very cheap car, cheap to build, and they didn't make a lot of money per vehicle. So whatever GE's got up its sleeve next, I hope it's going to be very impressive and something they're going to make some good money on. Because Tesla's turned around, man. What Tesla's done in the last 9 months. I've been very impressed with Tesla, man. This was a stock that again, people were calling it. You remember when they were calling it Tesla Q? Those of you guys who really follow the markets, you had that group of guys who were calling it Tesla Q. Now they're getting their asses squeezed to them. They're getting their asses handed to them, man. Oh, GM, sorry. I think I got GE and confused with GM, sorry. But GM, it was a GM Volt. Prius is a hybrid. Okay, so it's not fully electric. Gotcha. Yeah, I did A Ranger. I did. But at the same time, the idea is the same, right? Two great American companies that, again, I do believe that if the turnaround is for real, right? Where, for example, this past recent earnings report, I did read it for GE. They showed, lower losses than expected. If you continue to see that kind of ER report, you can't tell me that this is not going to take off. You can't tell me that a company like GE doesn't have people who are going to want to buy the stock if the company continues to, work on its plan and deliver. This isn't like one of those companies back in the day that I used to, oh man, they're doing such a great job. Why isn't everybody buying the stock? I used to talk about apps like that. I used to talk about apps like that back 2016, 2017. Why isn't anybody buying the stock? This thing is fucking amazing. They're delivering. And then sure enough, eventually it happened. But, that's not going to take place with a company like GE. If they continue to deliver, the money will come in. And I can see the stock doubling. This guy's saying $13 to $20 possible upside. I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Let's pick out PSAV. Somebody okay at PSAV? All right, we'll check out that PACV in a minute. Make sure that I got everybody else's ticker. TSM. Master Show Enough. Okay, semiconductor play. Coming out of Taiwan, ADR stock. God, very liquid too. TSM. God damn, that's a nice mover, man. Yeah, don't know anything about it, but that thing's a monster. You're overextended. You're getting up there now, but boy, is SMH TSM might be an SMH or because they got very similar charts. So Apps is a big boy. Yeah, Apps is a big boy stock now, man. Yeah, Apps is not that 98-cent stock we were chasing for a long time. PACV. Who brought PACV up, man? A Ranger. Penny play. Looks great for the short-term flip. Yeah, hey, look, I don't have anything bad against the penny plays, man. It's just that I've had so many traders get burned out of them. I understand, man. Guys still watch some of those old videos, especially a new guy who'll catch an old video and he thinks that it's still like that now. And he goes into a trade and gets his ass handed to him. I mean, he's just getting plowed in his asshole by guys slapping the shit out of the ask. It's a W pattern forming, and what time frame? Oh, I think you're looking at the daily like me. So okay, yeah, I mean you're above the 10 moving average. I mean again, as long as it stays up there, like I said, no OTC stock runs below the 10 moving average. All right, that's the beginning and ending of every OTC stock. You know, the 3 days even better, but I love the 7 day even more. 7 day even more. Yeah, that's the 7 day chart where every candlestick is 7 days. All right. You get something like that move, you get, I used to hunt the 7 day chart looking for little moves where people were accumulating. You start to see something like this and it pops above that. Oh man, it's about to take off. It's about to take off. It's about to take off. Ebanar says the life of a beginning trader. Oh yeah, man. The beginning traders, their head is in the clouds. They're going to be a millionaire in 6 months. I feel sorry for beginning traders. Really, I could never go back to being a beginner now. I never want to go back to being a beginner. Read too many damn books, watched too many damn videos, tried too many strategies. I'd never, ever want to go back to becoming a beginner. Abercrombie and Fitch, they're still alive? I didn't even know they were still alive. Shit. Let me fix my time frame, man. Okay. Abercrombie and Fitch still hanging in there. I thought they went bankrupt. Yeah, those early episodes. I don't even watch my early episodes. It's embarrassing, man. I just thank you guys so much for sticking with me because I go back sometimes and I watch. I'm like, how the fuck did these people let me have my own show? Don't they realize I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? But I just wanted to promote, right? I mean, again, I had this guy out of Chicago who was sending me tickers to talk about, and he was paying me $2,500 to send out emails. So I was just like, man, shit, I'm trying to get me some bread. I don't give a fuck. Eventually, though, as I started to learn more, and my conscience, started eating at me. As I get emails from old women talking about they lost all their money and, oh man, I had $750 and I lost it all. Can you please run it again, please? Can you please run it again? I'm stuck. Please help me. Said the Astrid Bat Scientist days. Yeah, shout out to Bat Scientist. I don't know whatever happened to Astrid. I think she lost all her money too. Yeah, shout out to Treasure Hunter. All those probably, I don't know what happened to Treasure Hunter. He called one time up here. I don't know what he's doing there. Treasure Hunter was crazy because remember he was like 42 years old, but he sounded like he was 17. You guys remember? I don't know if you guys remember that. He called up. I was like, man, how old are you? He's like, I'm 42. I'm like, what the fuck? Nigga, you sound like you was like 17 years old. Yeah, Africa Emporium. Yep. I don't know how he's doing. I wonder how he's doing. Yeah, no strategy, nothing. And then for a minute everybody got mad at me uh because I said something about black power bullshit in a moment of frustration. So he's like, "Oh my god. He's he's bending over for Whitey. He's bending over for Whitey. He's bending over for Whitey." And in one of the message boards, somebody was saying that I was bending over for Whitey. So a whole bunch of black people or hardcore black people who watch my show, they decided they're like, "Oh fuck it, I don't fuck with this guy anymore because he's bending over for Whitey." When I've kept it 100. So that was really sad because I'm like, man, in a moment of frustration, you guys would do that when I keep it real than anybody else on Fin YouTube who's black, you know. Stock guy, yeah, shout out to Stock guy. He's still doing his thing. You know, those guys, they have their own channels too, but they don't put in as much effort as I do. Have a good night, Paul. Yeah, I'm gonna stay just a little bit longer. Shout out to everybody who's in. 56 people in here. Shout out to all of y'all. Digital money is going to supersede gold. Well, Leon, let me tell you something right now. The problem with Bitcoin is that, look, man, when I'm in Detroit and I see a fat booty whore walking up the street, walking the whole stroll, I don't want to have to wait an hour for that Bitcoin transaction to, certify in order to get some head. So when y'all can figure out how to get Bitcoin to clear without having to wait a whole damn hour, then maybe it'll be something, man. But it's ridiculous. I tried to get into Bitcoin and all that, man. I had to wait a whole goddamn hour. What type of shit is that? I'm thinking I'm not going to get my money. Asia market is up big. Okay. I appreciate you, Stock Trapper. Where's Ken at? I don't know. He's on Twitter all the time, so I don't know. I gotta check in with Ken. Every time I hit up Ken in the DM, he's still doing his thing, still trading penny stocks, still trading OTC stock. Ken has his head to the ground, man. So Ken is still on Twitter. If you hit me up on Twitter, I'll give you Ken's Twitter account. But he's always sending me tickers in the DM. Yeah, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Pred. Yeah, man, I made so much damn money on Pred. I still got Pred money, bro. Still got some Pred money. I made so many people, the people who believed in me made money off Pred. You got a lot of people who's like, this nigga ain't gonna do shit. And then all of a sudden it went to 3. It's like, do you have any more tickers? Do you have any more? Like, man, you should have believed in a brother. Ran all the way to 6, now back down to a 1. Yeah, I mean, we'll see whether or not the Iceman has something else up his sleeve. Shout out to the Iceman. Shout out to the Iceman. Yeah, Stock Guy was the truth. He was doing some kind of RSI strategy. I haven't seen him tweet anything about it recently, though. What's up, Sinclair? Yeah. We made some good money on Pred. They didn't like it when I got the people out, though, man, because they just wanted me to keep talking about it. I was like, no, I got to get my people out of here. We made the money. It's time to dip now. They didn't like that, though. Leon Brucey said you're going to Senegal, Africa. I mean, get a few sentences down in French. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a single man, get some sentences down. Because you don't want to just be, like, I don't know no French or no, you want to be able to say something. Because the thing about African folks, when you're in Africa, they just like it if you put in a little effort. You know what I'm saying? That goes a long way with the honeys. You're gonna see a lot of big old behinds in Senegal. You're gonna see a lot of big old behinds. That's West African. Those are, those people ended up in Haiti and down there. Big old behinds. Big old behinds in Senegal. Yeah, back in the day, my old man, me and my dad, we had a real open relationship. We could talk about a lot of stuff like this. He was like, boy, if I didn't meet your mama, I would have lost my mind in Senegal. But he says it with an African accent. If I did not know your mother, oh my goodness, those women in Senegal, they were driving me mad. Oh yeah, those are the beautiful women in Senegal. What's appreciate you, life for a business, man. Yeah. But the thing about it, Africans can be big time coons too. That's why for the most part, I don't really, you don't see me fucking with a lot of Africans like that. That's why a lot of Black American dudes like me so much, because I'm not really, I'm African, but I'm not like, crazy like I only fuck with Africans. You know what I'm saying? All my baby moms are Black Americans. I only have one baby moms, but Lord knows I could have 8 of them right now if I wanted to. Because y'all know I love me some dusty hood rats with big titties. But you're going to have fun down there, man. You're going to have fun. All right. Yeah, to say the show would go till 4 a.m. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I had before I started the job, where I started the show, I had just quit my job. So I had a bunch of savings, and plus I was making money off promotion. So yeah, I'd stay up till 4 or 5 a.m. with y'all. Yeah. Now I still like my sleep. And at the time too, I'd stay up to catch some of these hoes at the bus stop and all that. Man, I was doing all kind of filthy shit. Not real hoes, by the way. Not real hoes. I don't mess with real hoes like pros and all that. I don't. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. So you still use that RSI stock guide showed you on the show too? Oh, well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, stock trader, stock trapper. Somebody had told me they wanted me to look at a stock, but I can't find. Okay, the Way of Rejuvenation, AVGR. Let me see. Oh, okay, this is the ticker. All right. God damn, man, no volume though. No volume. Yeah, man, it's nothing really popping in this one, man. Let me see the weekly. Oh, okay. Well, the week. All right. Well, the weekly shows something here. All right. Well, I mean, it's holding on to something here. So I like what the weekly chart's looking like. I like what the weekly chart is looking like, showing a little bit of life there. But again, the daily shows you're running out of steam again. And now you're back below this 50 the 50 RSI. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mitch, I started Millionaire Trading Academy because I realized that with futures options, that using the leverage that futures provides, you can put on trades that using stock or ETF options would yield basically no profit. But using futures options, you can, with probability as high as 90%, make money. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. And I'm showing people how to do that with Millionaire Trading Academy. Absolutely. So that's what I'm doing. I'm selling options. I've become an option seller now. Whether we're using, bull put spreads, bear call spreads, or iron condors. But right now, my go-to strategy is an iron condor on crude, because if you look at crude, we're experiencing, you know, levels of volatility that we've never seen in commodities in a very long time. And when I say volatility, I mean low volatility, right? Low volatility. So we're taking advantage of that by, doing iron condors in crude, because crude is not doing anything that it used to be doing if you go back to 2006 to 2014 for the most part. So we've pretty much been stuck for the last several years between 44 and 76, and you can do that trade in any trading account that of course offers you the ability to trade futures with an iron condor, where you can literally go 60 days out, sometimes 80 days out, between 44 and 76, and take in sometimes as much as $1.50 in credit. And you let time do its thing, and you just do it over and over and over again. So it's been a very lucrative strategy, and I've been posting my trades on Twitter, using sometimes other stock, using the same strategy but using stocks, which isn't as lucrative as using futures options because you don't get the leverage. But you can hashtag simple trading method and see what I've been doing. Are you going to review some market movers, give my opinion about some tickers? This is what I've been doing the whole time, man. Just give me a ticker you're looking at. But I don't want to just throw stuff out there. I want to provide you with value. X is a huge loser, but if it turns around here, here's my, again, okay, look at X showing some life. Okay. Look at X showing some life. You got a buy signal here on X on the monthly chart. All right. Let's see what happens with that, man. Let's see what happens with that. We again, here's X back in 2016. Again, above that 10 moving average. That's my entry. I love that entry. You had some false signals here going back to 2012, but so it's not a perfect indicator, but I love great companies coming out of those low RSIs, crossing that 10-month moving average. That's one of my favorite entries now. I like that. Nice move. Whoever brought up X, I like that. Yes, this is the Keltner channel. This is the Keltner channel. You can go on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of guys who will teach you how to use it. I was using the Bollinger Bands for a while, but I just like a clear signal. Just let me know something's in or it's overpriced or oversold. That's all I need to know. And then I like my buy entry. A clear entry, clear exits. What are you right? Let's take a look at Disney. Yeah, Disney. I had that 155.31 because I was really interested. I'm interested in Disney if it can break above that 155, but we've been having some trouble with that these last couple weeks. Nice day today, but I feel like it's selling off because we are overextended. Right, here's again the Keltner channel. We know that when it pops above that top Keltner channel that we are overextended, particularly when we're this far from that top channel. That eventually what happens is that it does come back to touch either the top or sometimes comes back as far as hitting the middle of the channel. So right now Disney is overextended. You had somewhat of a green day today. But look, we're looking at the same charts everyone else is looking at, and it's clearly some softening happening in Disney, and it could last for a while. But I still think the trend is higher, though. Absolutely. They're doing all the right things there. But I know some people were a bit disappointed. They're saying that the Disney didn't have enough content. I didn't sign up for it. But it's already crossed 15 million subscribers. So, look, that's revenue that's going to help the bottom line for Disney, and that's why I think Disney continues to go higher. Macy's is a goner. Macy's is done. Macy's it's a wrap for Macy's. It's a wrap for Macy's. All right? Macy's is just looking for now that crack, lower. It reminds me a lot of Grubhub. That's another stock that I made so much money on. It's just looking Grubhub just kind of holding. It just needed that crack. That's what Macy's is looking for. Just another crack to kind of start that lower breakdown. And I think GameStop is gone. Is GameStop? Oh, GameStop is still up there. Okay. Yeah, because GameStop was the same way. Because if you remember, we talked a lot of GameStop. And then, people are like, oh, it could turn around. It could blah, blah, blah. Well, no, it just kind of sometimes when a stock reaches the lows, the sellers may be out temporarily, but is there really demand for the stock? Is there really demand for the stock? And eventually, lack of demand drives the, remaining dagger into the heart of that stock. So it's not even selling pressure. It's just the fact that people don't want it. Yeah, man. Isn't it interesting how the more skilled you get, the more you study, the fewer indicators you want to use? Because then, when you're at the beginning, you feel like you need to rely on them, but you end up going back to, RSI, maybe MACD, and for me, Keltner channel. And that's it. Anything more than that, and maybe a moving average here or there, anything more than that is we're doing too much. John, I say the same thing, John Sanders. Will Amazon ever split? I say the same thing. Because I'd love to have a piece of that company, but I think it's just not going to happen. Webull. Can you short on Webull though? Can you buy options on Webull? FDX. Oh, FedEx. Oh yeah. Hold on, I'm thinking FedEx. Okay. Yeah, FedEx trying to rebound. Yeah, FedEx. I mean, if you like FedEx, then you like stocks like EEM and all that stuff, because those are those kind of plays that got them down. A big part of FedEx's business is emerging markets, particularly in Asia. They invested a lot of money in Asia, 2017, 2018. This is one of the reasons why it was so tough on them this year, because with all of the investments that they made, it wasn't showing up on the earnings report. And being what we saw happening in Asia because of the China deal situation, they paid the price for that. They paid the price for that. What I was surprised that we didn't see that happen also into the hotel stocks like the Marriotts of the world and whatnot. I don't think we saw. Yeah, we didn't see that. Really hurt them at all. I was quite surprised. 2019 should have been a much rougher period for the hotel stocks, but we didn't see that. We didn't see that at all. What did Michael Black say? Have a good night, Woody Wright. Come on, I don't understand what. Yeah, Michael Black. We apologize. Okay. I don't know why Michael Black got timed out, but apologize for that. I see you didn't say nothing bad. Yeah, absolutely. Keeping things simple. What options to buy on Robinhood tomorrow? Shit. God damn, man. If you're going to buy stock tomorrow, I don't know where the futures are at right now. In fact, let me check real quick. Let me check where my futures are at right now. Oh, wow. We're going to actually have a very good day tomorrow. I probably, in fact, if anything, I mean, God damn, could we really go higher tomorrow too? If anything, tomorrow, I'd try to catch the high of the day and be a seller, but damn, if we go higher, well, we could, man. We could very well go higher tomorrow. I'm thinking we might be a little bit overextended, but let me take a look at a 4 hour chart. Yeah, I guess we're not that bad off. We're really holding it. We really we're really holding it, man. Yeah, here's a 4 hour chart with the moving 10 moving average. And this is a really great setup. The 4 hour 10 moving average, this is a great looking chart for doing shorts. And you can see obviously it's not perfect, right? There's some false signals in here. But when it goes right, man, it is a great, you got a nice in the money put option and it goes right. Oh man, you can make a good killing on this. And as you can see here, we've been running for a long time. So a nice pullback could be warranted here, but we've had a couple, a dip here or there last week or so. But if we open up higher, right? Let's say we gap up higher here. I might actually be a seller. I don't know if I'd be a buyer of options if we gap up open tomorrow. Yes. MillionaireTradingAcademy.com. That's what I'm teaching people is futures options. Because in the world of cheap money, in the world of 0% interest money, you're going to see a shitload of guys move into futures. So I'm already there. Guys have already been trading futures. We're not new at this, but just the insane leverage you get over there is ridiculous. But you got to be careful, right? I wouldn't put a beginner in there on any kind of directional strategy. So I'm teaching non-directional trades using futures options. And again, we're taking high probability trades, right? 80, 85, 90%. And what we're doing is that over the course of, a 60 to 90 day window, we're closing for 50% of max profit. Quick breakdown. If I'm taking a 90% trade, right? A trade that offers 90% probability of success. What do you think the percent is to hit 50% of max profit? That means it's basically 9.999999 chance of hitting that. So all we're doing is we're managing the trade at 50% and then closing the trade and going into another 90% trade. So we're not even holding these trades for the duration of the actual trade, which is anywhere between 60 to 90 days. We're holding for half that, 30. And if it's 60, then we'll hold. If it's a 90-day trade, we'll hold for 45 days. All right. The guys over at Tasty Works or Tasty Trade, they were teaching people how to do this, but they were using stocks. I quickly found out that if you use futures, you earn more money and you can trade a better product. So if I confuse the shit out of you there, then you need to go to MillionaireTradingAcademy.com and read what I have there so you can get a better understanding of what I'm doing. Ramsey said ES futures. We're not trading ES futures though. We're trading crude. We're trading RUT. Not RUT, but the the futures equivalent, which is escaping me right now for whatever reason. But right now we're in crude, we're in gold, we're in silver. We're in those plays right now that are saying very little, movement because the volatility there is non-existent for now. That's what's up, Ramses. You said you've been trading since the pit days. God damn. Oh my God, I know you made a lot of money. Yes, Ramses. Yes, the Russell 2000. Why is that escaping me right now? Hold on. What's the futures equivalent? Oh God, not IWM RUT. RTY. There it is. RTY. 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 And if a guy came to me and he wants to do something on the ES, E-mini options, then what we're doing is we're suggesting bull put spreads, which makes perfect sense. At all times highs here, still pretty dangerous, right? I mean, that's still a pretty dangerous strategy. It's been a winner for a long time. If you pull up the monthly chart, it's been a winner for a long time. But we're getting to the point where, maybe even bear call spreads could be put into consideration. But right now I'm staying away from ES entirely because I have no doubt one day we're going to wake up and the market will be, 2,000 points lower. But guess what? I think crude will be, down maybe at the most 1% or 2% on a move like that. And I can handle that. So I'm stuck trading crude for now until we get some kind of move higher or lower on the indexes. Because I'm terrified of going into the indexes right now. I'm terrified going into the indexes right now because, anytime that the VIX, when we start to see the VIX at these lows like that, and with the macroeconomic situation we have going on with China and all of this, I just feel like we're so underpriced. We've so underpriced risk. I don't get it. I don't get why we're so underpriced risk. I know the money is cheap, but 13 VIX right now, really? Don't we think that there's significant risk, particularly when you look at corporate debt? When we just passed the highest credit card debt U.S. history for personal consumer, increasing defaults on car loans, record defaults, and student loans. I just feel like, they're saying that there's no, what's the word for it? The Fed is saying that there's no, oh gosh, the word escapes me right now. Where the word where our money loses value over time. Inflation, right? Due to inflation. But I see inflation everywhere. I see inflation when I speak to people in my generation who are, unfortunate enough to have to make minimum wage or make less than $20 an hour, and they're trying to go out and get an apartment. And, last year was 600, this year it's 8, and then the year after that it's 950. They're putting less and less in the basket. Now you can't even go to a dollar store anymore because you got people using the dollar store as a grocery store. I remember I used to be able to go to the dollar store, go in and out in 2 minutes flat. Now, you live in a decent sized city, you got people with whole carts in the dollar store. I just feel like there's a lot of pressure at the lower end that just, for whatever reason, is just not priced in. I know some of you agree with me. I just feel like there's a lot of tapped out people, and it's just not priced in somehow. With Amazon getting, how do you think Walmart has been lost in the shuffle? I wouldn't say that. They got overextended a little bit on their, after the incredible earnings. But I've been following Walmart. I think Walmart's going to continue to be a big winner. Walmart's been doing everything right, especially after they, the Jet acquisition back. I think it was 2017, 2016. I mean, their online strategy has been amazing. They did where you can order and pick up, at the store. Walmart's been executing, man. They've been absolutely doing a great job. Walmart, Target, Costco. It's just been absolutely. I mean, they've been huge, huge beneficiaries of just excellent management. Oh well, again, hip, whole gems. As I mentioned, I just feel like one day we're gonna wake up and the market will be down 2,000 points. I just feel that, man. But then I was watching business media, CNBC. They're saying we could go another 4 years of all-time highs. So I'm letting the month go out, and I want to see what it looks like next year, right? Beginning of next year, right? We could have a president that could be facing some trouble here, right? I feel like that's not priced in. Right? I feel like that's not priced in, even though, obviously we know the Senate won't confirm any impeachment. But, some recent polls had Bernie Sanders beating him, Biden beating him. That's very concerning for me. Obviously those still have quite a bit of time to play out, but I don't know, man. I don't know. 6 months ago, I didn't think it was possible for Trump to lose, but now I don't know, man. I don't know. When I'm seeing what some of these farmers are saying on some of these blogs and these guys out in the Midwest, when you read what they're saying out on YouTube on their little channels, they're a bit frustrated. They're a bit frustrated. Yeah, the difference though, Hippo Gems, is that Rut just recently broke out, and right, it has recently broke out higher. But what you're looking at and what you're looking at in Rut is companies that don't have the ability to do buybacks. What you're looking at companies in Rut that are companies that have insanely high debt, right? So you're not going to see the massive moves that you see in ES. You're not going to see that in Rut for the most part. You're not going to see that in Rut for the most part. Says small business owners love Trump. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of small business owners love Donald Trump. Yeah, he's been awesome for the stock market. I've made more money than I ever did over Obama. I still, and I've said it till today, and a lot of folks hate me when I say it, but Donald Trump has been the best thing that ever happened to my pocketbook. I was a struggling trader when Barack Obama was president. I was a very struggling trader. Thanks to Donald Trump, I was able to make a lot of money. For me, I was able to, take trips that I haven't been able to do. The field became lucrative, right? Whether it be on YouTube or social media, we're all here because of Donald Trump. Look at a guy like Tim Sykes. He was, guy was, if it wasn't for what the market was doing, the guy was a nobody before, Trump. Most people didn't really hear about him before 2016. We knew about him. Some of you guys been around, knew about him. But when you're talking about the social media atmosphere of investing, trading, blah, blah, it's all because of Donald Trump. The excitement and what evolves around social media and the stock market, FinTwit, right? FinTwit Twitter. It'd be nothing if it wasn't for Trump. Be nothing. If we were still trading, if we were still at 11,000 or some shit like that, we and we were headed there. Let me tell you that. You guys can go back and look at the chart. We were clearly headed there. All right, we were clearly headed. I remember it just like yesterday. It's February 2016. All right, February 2016. Yep, November 2016. We were headed lower. I mean, we were pretty much tapping out here. And thanks to his deregulation policies, we had an incredible 2017. He said, explain why Uber stock. Well, John, because Uber lost their right to do business in England, which happens to be, well, not England, but in London, which happens to make up almost 20% of their European income. They also are hemorrhaging cash thanks to their Uber Eats platform. All right, they're overextended. That's the problem with Uber. And now what you're looking for is for them to deliver an ER that shows that they're turning things around. The best thing Uber can do right now is shut down Uber Eats where they're losing money. Trump's going to ride this indecisiveness on China trade all the way to next November. I think that can hurt him. He's got to get a deal done soon, man. This idea, this whole, 1B, 1A deal, and all. I mean, and I talked a lot about that on my previous episode of how, they've just lowered the bar for him. I don't know what it is, but they've just lowered the bar for him when it comes to this China deal situation. And I've said it again, and I'll keep saying it. If it was a Barack Obama, they would have lynched him by now. They would not let you go a year and a half. They would not have let Obama go a year and a half doing this. And you know it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, Ramsey's cat, you know your stuff, man. I think I can learn a lot from you. I think I can learn a lot from you. Send me an email, happypennystocks@gmail.com, man. Give me your contact info. Yeah, right now in the course, all I'm really teaching is iron condors, and I only teach stuff that I feel like I've mastered, right? And when it comes to iron condors and controlling volatility, managing the trade, I can say I've gotten skilled at that. Well, I'd love to eventually go into calendar spreads and some of the more complicated non-directional strategies, but for now, I'm enjoying the slow volatility that we're seeing in some of the commodities, and doing some iron condors right now. Oh, okay. You work Uber Eats? Okay. Yeah, Uber Eats. They make good money, but Uber himself, for whatever reason, is losing money on Uber Eats. I don't know if it's the discounts or what, because it's expensive as hell to begin with. So I don't know how they're losing money. I say you're good at picking winners, just bad at charting and patience. Defense stocks are good when Republicans are in charge. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the defense stocks. Boeing for a long time was a defense stock. I don't know what they are now. I don't know what's going on with Boeing. Boeing is I've been looking at Boeing as a short for a long time, but they scared the hell out of me when they said that the plane might be back up and running in March. Now March looks like a no-go. So Boeing looks like a very delicious short trade right now, but I was like, there's some other more higher probability setups, even though that is incredibly lucrative. That looks like an incredibly lucrative opportunity in Boeing. That just smells like blood, just looking at that chart. Yeah, I'm not getting on. No, you can go on the plane. I'm not going on that damn plane. Fuck that. You can go on that plane. I'm not going on that plane, man. I'm not going on that plane. They said, well, it had over 1 million rides. Okay, well, shit. A couple of those rides ended up with nearly 500 people losing their life. The plane's got a system that can take over the pilot. Like, that's crazy to me. And the way they explain it, it's not like some regular autopilot. Because I know other planes have it, but this system they basically try to create a plane where the computer was in full control of the plane. Where the pilot is just kind of just like, from what I've read, that's scary as fuck what they try to do. They try to do like a Tesla kind of thing in the air. See, the plane will be the safest plane out there when they fix it. Okay, you go fly it on it then. You say you feel the same way with AMD, like I remember it was dirt cheap. Okay, AMD is a beast, man. AMD is a beast. And thankfully now it's not running off some fake shit like Bitcoin like it was. If you guys remember back last year when it was running off that Bitcoin bullshit. Here it is. All right. It's not that anymore. Now it's just like, hey, look, we got some awesome graphics cards. We're making, shitload of money selling to these data centers. So things are really, really working out for AMD. They're making good money. Yeah, and I could see them going much, much higher. Much, much higher. And this has always been a stock that for whatever reason people feel like should have been, should be trading at a higher valuation. And I mean 200 already at 200 times earnings. I mean that's already pretty high, but they must have done a stock split in the past, because at 200 times earnings they should be trading at a much higher price. So that tells me that they must have done a stock split in the past, sometime in the last 5 years or so, or 6 years. What's a better pilot, drunk pilot or computer pilot? Well, a computer pilot, but the computer actually has to be programmed correctly. The problem is that you have a computer pilot that sometimes wants to pull down instead of pull up. Did you see when the Discovery Channel did a little thing on the Asian disaster when they literally had the plane pulling. This is the scary shit. It took like weeks for me to get this shit out of my mind because I had to fly, sometime after that. But they had the scene where the pilot was trying to grab his thing to pull up, and the machine kept pulling pulling it down. The autopilot, the autopilot was pulling the plane down into where it literally went straight down. And then they had the machine pull up. And he's like, ah! Ah! That shit was scary as fuck. Pull up. That was crazy, man. Shit, man. I'm not flying that damn plane. That's terrifying. And that's a computer doing that. He said, did he pull up? That's hilarious. Well, they're all dead now, but I'm sure they got something out of it. But everybody on that plane, there was no survivors on that plane. There were no survivors on that. I think it was called the Airline something. But Airline disaster. Lion Air. Excuse me. Lion Air disaster. No survivors. Ethiopia, same thing. No survivors. Should I fear or look forward to a market crash? You should be excited about a market crash. If you're not a millionaire, a market crash is the best thing that will ever happen to you. I'm telling you, recessions are good things. We're gonna have my friend John back on the air. John will be back on the air maybe sometime this. I'm gonna try to see if I can get him this weekend. But John, if you guys don't know, he's the one that I do the series on classical economics with. I mean, this brother's a hardcore libertarian. I've never met a brother like that before. He's incredibly bright, and he drops some major game. So I'm gonna have him on the show sometime. I'm gonna try to see if I can get with him this weekend. There's a lot of people like it when we come together. And if you like economics, if you want to hear a conservative view that's very thorough, concrete, but makes sense, I think you'd love to hear what Jonathan Bogan has to say. Yeah. You say you don't know why they don't have a parachute for every seat. I mean, how are you gonna get out, man? You don't really have. I don't even want to think about that stuff, man. I'm not trying to think about none of that stuff, man. I when I get in the plane, I take some pills and I just knock out. You know. That's why they have the little air mask for you, so it knocks you out, so you won't feel anything. He said John sounds white. Come on, man. Hey, Ranger. Come on, man. Yeah, the 2008 financial crisis was one of the best things that ever happened. I mean, think about it, man. If you were one of these wealthy people that got bailed out, like so many people did, you not only did you not take any losses, right? You didn't take any losses, but you still were in at the prices prior to the '08 crash. So if you had gotten to a trade at 96, rode it in to 2008, you got bailed out, right? If you were one of those incredibly large private investors at Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan, or Morgan Stanley or Bank of America or whatever, whoever got a bailout money, you made a shitload of money. Remember, Barack Obama made. Some people are saying he created anywhere between 5 to 12 million new millionaires on the bailout. 5 to 12 million new millionaires in America thanks to the bailout. You know, and these weren't people who were, ordinary like me and you, who came up on something. I mean, these were people who were, kind of already there, but just thanks to that bailout, it was just like, here's the added boost. Yeah, that's why I hate him so much. That's why I hate him so much, and a lot of people give me a hard time for that. Oh, he was the first black president. Well, he was a horrible president. Horrible president. We don't get Trump without Obama. A lot of people don't recognize that. If we could have got, Howard Dean, or if Hillary would have won, because Hillary could have won in 2008 if Obama didn't win, then, because I think Hillary would have washed McCain. You don't get Donald Trump without Barack Obama. It's impossible. It just doesn't happen. It was that hatred It was the hatred for the stock market. It was the hatred for what he had done with the bailouts. It was that hatred for that elitist approach, right? You got a lot of people who saw Barack Obama as uppity, and you after you have an uppity black president, the first thing, who wouldn't you best respond to that than somebody who is so on the other side of Barack Obama, somebody who doesn't speak anywhere near as well, who isn't known for being professorial, right? Who isn't known for, delivering great speeches that are motivating, all that. The complete opposite. So you got Trump out of straight anger. Absolutely. Trump touched an angry nerve, and angry people voted for him because he was completely the opposite of Barack Obama. But Obama was too clean. Obama was everything that, if you're from the Bible Belt and what you think you have been raised to know about people like Obama, he triggered everything in you. He triggered everything in you. He wasn't crazy about sex. He had a loving wife, same 2 children. He didn't have any baby mamas. He didn't have any drama. He had good credit. This guy he's not black. It's like, goddamn, we can't find anything about this guy. They had to go all the way back to like Reverend Wright and all. They couldn't find anything it was like shit. They had to find all kind of loose characters. It was everybody else but Obama. They couldn't find nothing on him as a person because he was so squeaky clean. This was a guy who was preparing to be president possibly since he was 17 years old. So his history was just clean. He did everything he had to do. Went to the best schools, hung out with the best people, hung out with, didn't go to Wall Street. Could have gone to Wall Street, but didn't go. Went to the hood to get his black card up. Went to the black church. The black church embraced him because he was, it was the late 1970s, early 1980s. Crack was there. You needed, somebody who was different, a shining, example to young people in the community. So you embrace this dude by the name of Barack Obama. You put him out into the community, right? He garners some sort of black support. He runs for House representative. He loses to a longtime civil rights member, Bobby Rush. Bobby Rush eventually decides to go do his own thing. Then Obama finally wins. He wins that. Eventually moves on to the U.S. Senate. Goes to the U.S. Senate. Right? Goes to the U.S. Senate, takes the safest road possible, and then he gets a DNC speech, which is something a junior senator does not do, but he kills the speech, and everybody's like, man, this guy's got to be the next president of the United States. So he's been preparing. He had been preparing for a long time to be president. Even his history with women was squeaky clean. He didn't have a single girlfriend who'd come out and say anything bad about him, that he cheated or nothing. He was too clean. What's going on, Rel? He said his father was considered CIA. It's hilarious. He did. He got a good. Obama got good credit, man. Obama got super credit, dude. Yeah. You see, he just bought that $15 million house in the mansion. In the Hamptons. Obama caked up, man. He came into the White House with a net worth of $480,000. Now they're saying Obama could be worth anywhere to between 35 to 50 mil. That's good money for a guy who all he does now is give speeches, and most of his speeches are in private. Obama's caked up. So don't feel sorry for him. He living good. He said 50 million easy. Oh yeah, Obama's worth 50 million easy. Easy. It's Barack Obama, dude. You kidding me? You're going to have to cut the check if you want him to show up. I mean, think about it. You're a corporate, couple $100 billion company. You want somebody important to show up? You cut Barack Obama $2.5 million to show up, man. Say his father was African with a PhD from Harvard, like his son. His wife's book is the second best book in U.S. history. Damn. I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad. Well, I mean, look, sign up to MillionaireTradingAcademy.com. That's what we're studying to do, man. All we're looking to do is take $2,500, right? That's what we're asking traders to do, again, because most traders who follow me, for the most part, that's about what they start with. And I'm asking traders to aim to get 4% per month. If you can aim to get 4% a month and you get on this 30-year journey with me, you will retire a millionaire. If we aim for 4%, I won't get just 4% a month. 4% a month on your $2,500. If you got some side income or you can save some money, any additional income that you can continue to put into your trades, great. But we're asking every trader to aim for 4% a month. That's all we're asking for. Most of you guys in here, you do better than that. All right, but 4% a month. If you have less than $50,000, that's very doable. What we want to do is get to a point where we have a problem finding 4% a month. That's a great problem to have. You got $1 million, you got 5 million, you got 10 million, 10% a month is out of the question. That's a great problem. That's a great position to be in. $65 million book deal? Shit. Yeah, do the math on compound, on the compound interest calculator. Just get 4% a month. That's 50% a year. All right, and do that for as long as you can. Aim for that as long as you can. Don't think about 50% a year. Think about 4% a month. And you'd be surprised with somebody who doesn't have very much money, how 4% is relatively, I wouldn't say easy to get, but possible for you to get. I appreciate you, Leon. I'm about to get up out of here myself. I see the view count getting down a little bit, so I know y'all got to get to work. I'll be out in about 20 more minutes. Yeah, $65 million book deal? Shit. As a matter of fact, I gotta post some ads after this video. I'm gonna post a black box ad. And you guys have been hearing the ads that I be putting on my podcast and stuff. Shout out to you guys who've been taking advantage of some of the stuff that I've been selling. I appreciate you. Yes, absolutely. Make money stock trading. Always. Absolutely. I keep telling guys that, man, that reinvesting in yourself by putting money in your trading account and then trading diligently by not taking stupid risk, right? Again, all about base hits. You look at a guy like Ichiro. Ichiro barely hit any home runs, but his base hits got him a 15-year career? Just be a base hitter, man. Be a base hitter. Sure enough, it's actually more than that. If you do the compound calculator, do $2,500 at 4% a year for 30 years. Now, you get to a certain point where, look, I'm not going to expect you to put $100,000 in a trade, right? So you're going to have to adjust for some, for some realism there. But you're going to make way more than $1 million if you follow that strategy. You're going to make way more than $1 million. Particularly if you can find a way to put in another $200 a month. All right, because what makes compound interest so amazing is that not only are you making your 4%, but if you can find a way again to add in additional income along with the 4% that you're making with the 2,500, that blooms over time, right? Taking taking high probability trades that are actually going to make you money, right? You're going to become a millionaire. You will become a millionaire. All right. You're just going to have to measure for some realism there, because again, you're not going to put yourself in $100,000 trades, and no, you're going to, just kind of move money aside and just kind of keep going. Am I going to create a chat room for the people? I don't know if there's that. I don't know. I think once it gets bigger, because right now I only got like 55 people up in there. I only got 55 people up in there. Most of them aren't people who have the time to be in there like that. See, a lot of people who are interested in my trading strategy are people who have other things going on. So they're not sitting in front of the computer all day. They've got other things going on. And again, this is about making long-term wealth. We're trying to build wealth here. We're not trying to get rich tomorrow here. We actually want to be, guys who have something to actually pass on, And when I look at the successful traders and I read about the successful traders of yesteryear and the successful traders of today, what you find consistently is that these men and women, had monthly goals. They took very little unnecessary risk, if any risk at all, for the most part. And they basically just let their money just work. And it took, 20, 30, for some of them 40 years. If you look at a guy like Warren Buffett, and again, I know he's a bit of an outlier, but many people in his generation could have done what he did. Obviously, they didn't have, the vehicle that Berkshire Hathaway was, right? For those who read up on Warren Buffett, I've read a ton of books on him. Berkshire Hathaway was an incredible vehicle, right? It's a factory he bought. It had excellent credit history. He closed down the factories, sold off everything, took the money, reinvested it in other products. So he had an incredible vehicle, but at the end of the day, he was still born at a time where America was going through an incredible revolution, right? So he was able to put capital aside, let it work, smart investing. Smart investing, and not even, challenging, because when you look at the books, he was just buying great companies with very little debt, companies that were very boring, and he just stuck. He just reinvested any gains, continued to add into positions as years went by. He wasn't doing anything like overly amazing. Take another guy, George Soros. Again, another very boring trader. When you read about George, these are very boring trades these guys take. You look at a guy like Ken Fisher from Fisher Investments. I don't know why we try to reinvent the wheel, because marketing can really fuck your head up. At the end of the day, I'm betting on America. I'm betting that America is still 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now going to be the best country in the world still. I still believe that. All right. I still think America is going to be the place everybody wants to go. All right. I think we're the best workers in the world. I think we're some of the most creative people in the world. I think we're the best at monetizing every damn thing we do. And I think because of that, we're going to continue to have an economy that people want to invest, that people want to get money working. I'm betting on America, man. I'm betting on America for the long term. You know, I don't think Rwanda is going to be anywhere as good as we are 20 years from now. I don't think Angola, I don't think Belize, I don't think Colombia, I don't think any of these countries are going to be anywhere near us 20, 30, 40 years from now. I think we'll still have an economy that's strong, you know, where people are looking to raise capital and, you know, spend capital, all that. We're going to have our recessions, we're going to have our depressions, but we're going to ride through all that too. We're going to ride through all that too. He said that's why China is on our ass. I mean, it is what it is. We you know, yeah, China wants to be number one. Russia wanted to be number one. They destroyed themselves. China's doing the same thing. China's destroying itself somewhat. You know, their money situation. You know, they're making a lot of the same mistakes that Russia made. You know, Russia, you know, when I read back on the way we looked at Russia for a long period of time, it was very similar. The conversations were very, very similar. You know, because they had an economy that you know, isn't like, you know, I wouldn't say Russia and China, of course, very different countries, but you had a country that was putting out that they had full employment, that everybody was happy, that everybody was, obviously those who knew the truth, and they eventually imploded. All right. But that's the same thing that's coming out of China now, that everybody in China's got jobs. Everybody, they're bringing out 20 million people a year out of the middle class. And everybody's becoming a millionaire. There's a million new millionaires every month in China. There's all, you know, we're hearing all these things. They got 5G, which is true. You know, they got 5G, and their 5G is $5 a month, right? So they're doing a lot of incredible things over there. So I give them that. But I still think that the freedom of the press, freedom of religion, you know, just our creativity, I think we're just better in America. We're just better. Yeah, I said black folks getting into these markets. Yeah, black folks participating, and it's you know, the fact that we have a diverse, that so many people think it's a weakness, is actually our greatest asset. You know, it's our greatest asset. It's what's made America. Can you imagine? I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day. Think of all of the Olympic gold medals that have been won by black people. Imagine if we didn't have any black, you know, we would have, I think somebody did the math, I think it was like less than 20. So it's, you know, so our diversity has made us and been able to build this image, this world image that we're the best, thanks to our diversity. You know, maybe we'd have less than 20 gold medals if it wasn't for all the black folks that win all the time. I think it's like 20 or 25 or something ridiculously low like that. So how do I think about partial shares? I think that's ridiculous because it makes no sense. I just think partial shares are just, I don't know. I think the partial shares that's the sign, right? That's the sign that things have gone too far, when people start getting partial shares. You know, that tells me that valuations are now they're just getting outrageous. They're getting outrageous when Americans have to get partial shares. You know, when you can't afford McDonald's and you can only afford a tenth of McDonald's stock, and you think that's going to do something for you. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying, you know, I think that's where we've gone wrong. Absolutely, America has all different kinds of people. Yeah. You say they still got the best orange chicken. You ain't eating no chicken. You ain't eating no chicken, man. I've never seen chicken. Look, the Chinese people have something called General Tao's chicken. I've never seen a piece of chicken that looks anything like General Tao's chicken. Every time I see somebody order that, I was like, I've never seen a piece of chicken look like that. That's not chicken, bro. To me, it looks like rat, aborted rat, I forgot what it's called. Embryos. It looks like aborted rat embryos that are partially created or partially born. That's what I think a lot of y'all are eating. You're not really eating any chicken, because I had never seen no damn chicken like that. General Souls. For real, man. Look, these people come to this country. Just kind of like in my video about the Jews yesterday, the Chinese people also have Chinese agency. And these Chinese agencies, they're in, all the big cities. And what they do is when you come from China, because I was going to do something by the Chinese or the Jewish. I thought, okay, the Jewish I think would hit better with my fans. But just like the Chinese, they will lend you money, right, to go into business, right? They help their own, right? That's why you ain't never gonna see no Chinese people at a soul food restaurant. They don't like your black ass. But anyway, they will start a business, and they started lean, man. They started lean, and you'll go in there. They don't even have no chairs, because that's how much they hate you. They don't even have any chairs for you to sit down on a lot of spots. If you go up to New York or something like that, they may have some chairs or whatever. But for the most part, they really don't want you sitting up in there. They really don't want you sitting up in there. I mean, they hate you so much, they will hire a Mexican cook to cook Chinese food over your black ass. In a black neighborhood. In a black neighborhood, they would have a Mexican cook, a Mexican guy, washing the dishes or something like that, even in a black neighborhood. I'm not lying. These Chinese people they will not hire your black ass for nothing. And that's why I don't ever really believe the idea that, all black folks don't have money or something like that, because these folks come from other countries in the hood and get rich off quote unquote poor black people. So don't tell me that there's no money in the hood. There's a whole lot of money in the hood. And it's crazy sometimes when I guilt trip myself for going into those places, and I stand in line and I'm like, damn, every black woman in this line right now could cook better than every single one of these Chinese people. And here they are in line about to take food from him. And they cook better than him. And you telling me like, damn, all four of these black women in line, they can't put some money together and rent a $600 kitchen? You know how easy these soul food restaurants are to get popping? If I knew how to cook, man, I would make a soul food restaurant right now. I tried to start one. When I first came to Charlotte, I tried to get one popping, man. I tried to get one popping, but, the black woman I wanted to hire was like, what about my kids? But I was like, okay, man. And then I tried to do a daycare, because a lot of these sisters who are chasing these degrees, they out here ain't making no money. I said, look, sis, let's get some daycares popping. We could franchise this shit and possibly go public. You got a lot of sisters out here with a lot of good degrees, ain't making no money. If they would be honest with you, I'm telling you, if some of these women out here would be honest with you, who are out here flaunting these degrees, they're not making no money at some of these corporate jobs. What's going on, Patrice? Black supply. Oh, man, the beauty supply is, man, again, when it comes to the beauty supply, And I don't want to go back to Obama again, but that's just one of those things that pissed me off because there was a delegation. There's something in Atlanta, it's like the Bronner's hair show. And a lot of sisters who would love to have their own beauty supply stores, they go to those kind of hair shows. And there was a delegation that came out of one of those hair shows that went to go see Obama to say, hey, man, look, these Koreans, they've got the whole beauty supply on lock. They won't sell to us. And he did nothing, man. He did nothing. You can Google that. Obama beauty supply store. He's done. I think he made a little speech about it, and he didn't do anything about it. He said black people don't support black people. Well, it's not up to black people to support black people. Black people individually have to make a decision to go into business and to strive to provide a service to their fellow black people. You can't just say blacks don't support blacks, because in itself that's not true. A lot of y'all who are black, you watch me because I'm black. You support me. So that in itself isn't true. But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, black customers still want a great product. They want affordable prices. They want the place to be clean. You got to provide a level of service that makes them want to do business with you. Right? So you can't blame the community. It's individuals who are making poor choices at providing quality services. And you've got a lot of people who are saying who could provide quality services and a great product, but instead of willing to make $75,000 or $60,000 helping their own people by providing a good or service, they'd rather go make 120, working for the man. Taking, being called nigga on the job and all that shit. You got a lot of capable black folks who are working 9-to-5 jobs right now who would be great business owners in the black community, providing excellent service, hiring people. But they don't believe in themselves enough to go out there and take that risk. He said made more money flipping foreclosed crack houses and Katrina flood houses. And the training's all mental, brother. Yeah, man. Look, my thing is the wholesale and the houses thing. I like what you guys are doing, but I hate the fact that you guys are making money, but at the same time you contribute to gentrification. Because a lot of times you're not flipping those properties and giving it back to people in the community. What you're doing a lot of times is you're flipping a property to somebody who don't live in the community, somebody's going to fix it up and then move somebody else who doesn't live in the community. For example, Jewish people, in their neighborhoods, they don't even list their homes. Jewish people don't list their homes. If you go to certain parts of Brighton Beach and Crown Heights and all, they do not list their homes. All right? When a home is available for sale, they will go to their local synagogue and they'll post it at the synagogue. And only other Jewish families are going to be able to get that property. See, the problem with us is that we don't have any loyalty to our community. So, I'm going to fix and flip this property. You know what I'm saying? And you flip it and fix it to, Mr. White Man. And there's nothing wrong because Mr. White Man, at the end of the day, he's doing business. But Mr. White Man is going to fix up the property and sell it to Mr. and Mrs. White Man. And Mr. and Mrs. White Man don't want your black ass in their neighborhood. And they're going to put money into the mayor's office, into the police chief, and they're going to then create an atmosphere that is conducive to over policing and all that stuff to get your black ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So y'all start a chain. These black wholesalers, y'all start a chain that destroys black communities, man. I have respect for dudes who are out here getting properties and then renting it out to Section 8. You know, I mean, you're doing your Section 8 hustle, you know, building that net worth. I respect that. But when you out here just, you know, wholesaling properties for 2,500, 5,000, one, that's not no real money, and two, you're not benefiting the community. You're benefiting yourself. That's selfish. I'm not saying that you're doing that, brother. You know, I'm not saying that you're doing that, but we're not. You know, we got to be conscious about what we're doing. And you see these brothers all over YouTube. Be a wholesaler, be a wholesaler, be a wholesaler, running around the black community, convincing somebody who could be your grandmother, your grandfather, to lock in their property to turn around and give it to white folks. You're not helping, man. You're not helping, man. You're destroying the black community. A lot of y'all are destroying the black community. These are not white folks going up in these properties, getting these old black folks to sell their homes. These are young black people, middle-aged black people, and you're fucking up our community because you're going in there because you want little 5,000, little 7,500 check, and you're letting these white folks walk away with 150, 160 after they done flipped it. You know, it's crazy, man. You know, so we're contributing to our own destruction. We're contributing to our own destruction, and I don't know where the black community is going to end up. Thanks to gentrification, the black community, they're pushing you back all the way back to the plantations. They're pushing you back on the plantation. And understand this, the civil rights movement wouldn't have happened if black people didn't live in cities. I hope people understand that. If it wasn't for the fact that we lived in cities where we were able to communicate with each other simply and easily, the civil rights movement would have never happened. All right? So now that they're pushing us out to the suburbs, pushing you out to the countryside again, how do you have an active community? How do you build, how do you build a community? You know? It's crazy shit, man. You got to remember, the civil rights generation that came out of the cities, they had to go to the South to teach these people, hey, you can vote. You can, have better schools. They had to go into the countryside because these people were basically being locked out of having decent news. You had some people who were still, up until the 60s, still being slaves. Go Google that shit. You had, till the 1960s, people in these godforsaken, countryside cities working as slaves. Crazy shit, man. So we gotta be a lot more. What's the word for it? But our choices just have to have just a lot more thorough thought. I'd love to see brothers with a lot more thorough thought about their actions. That includes the whole community. Because again, that Jewish video, if you haven't listened to it and you're a little bit struggling in life, or you feel like you're not going where you want to go in life, please watch that video about what Jewish people are doing. It might just take a few hours of real self-assessment, maybe just reading and writing down, things. I had a conversation with a brother, and he was talking about how his dad was a bus driver for 35 years. And I don't downplay anybody who, hey man, he provided a life for you and your kids. I'm just saying that, hey man, does your father have a diary? Does your father have a diary for the 35 years he spent working for the bus company? He's like, nah, he doesn't have no diary like that. I'm telling you right now, man. The second most popular word in the Torah is the word right. Because Jewish people are not only insane readers, but they are insane writers. See, Jewish men also have diaries. They pass on things. I mean, some of the greatest, you know, people that we know in history, they had diaries. It's important for you to have a diary because it allows you to kind of go back and reflect on things in your life and be able to make change. I guarantee you that if that man had a diary, he wouldn't have been a bus driver for 35 years. And I say that respectfully. I say that respectfully. Because when you are able to go back and reflect on moments and how things happen, and you can literally watch the course of your life, because we have just ideas and certain things we remember, but we don't remember the days. For example, I can ask some of you guys here, what exactly did you do last Tuesday? And you probably can't tell me outside of work and maybe a show you watched. But if you can open a book and you say, okay, I was last Tuesday, before I slept, I wrote in my diary, okay, this is what was going on. This was the challenge to me. You can't do that and just live a regular life. It's not possible, because you're able to see, like, I'm not making any progress. You see what I'm saying? When you're living day for day, you can't really tell if you're moving anywhere unless something really major happens. But the problem is that a good life is the consequence of several small good decisions. So if we're not making small good decisions and are able to see we're making small good decisions, then the big change doesn't ever happen. If it does happen, it's rare. It happens because we got lucky, right? So it requires that we have some kind of way of being able to measure ourselves on a daily basis, that we can kind of review. So that's why, not just writing goals and put it in your back pocket. Like, we gotta be able to take a daily assessment. And nobody's saying you got to be there for 2 hours, just 15 minutes, 30 minutes. How did my day go? What's bothering me? What would I like to do tomorrow? And you do that on a daily basis. It becomes a habit. Now it's something that you can pass down to your kids, or it's something interesting that your child. I would love if my grandfather had a diary. I'm thankful that my father has a diary. I can't wait to read his diary. I have not read his diary yet. I can't wait to read some of the things he was going through in the 1980s. Read about some of the things that he thought about coming into America, his fears, his hopes, what he thought about me, how I was coming up. I can't wait to read that. No, I'm not trying to turn into a reverend. No, I'm not trying to preach, man. I just really feel like, when you study people, man, and I'm an insatiable reader, man. I love reading about other people and groups and other people's lives, because I'm just trying to be successful in my own way. You know what I mean? Life is not as incredibly difficult and hard, and things happen, right? Things happen that'll knock you off your game. But man, like, when you read stories like Nigger Hamilton, a brother who was born into slavery, right? Built a wealth in 1850 to $250 million. This man was Chaco black. Chaco black. They hated him so much they called him Nigger Hamilton. You can read books, you can read stories about Lunsford Lane, another brother by the name of Lunsford Lane. Lunsford Lane was born into slavery. He found a way to sell these sweetened tobaccos. He became so successful selling these sweetened tobaccos, he eventually ended up buying himself out of slavery, bought his family out of slavery, then bought the whole plantation. He was so successful. Now his story, tragically ends a little bit, but there are tons of stories where people who had lives so much harder than you, but all of them seemed to follow the same track. One, they were hungry for knowledge. They believed wholeheartedly that their destiny was controlled by themselves, and they just went after it. They controlled their destiny, and they just went after it. They just went after. I mean, I can go on and on and on in some of the stories that I've read, because they're only, the thing about the 1800s is they only put out Carter G. Woodson, what's this other brother? W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other black folks who were doing incredible things. And they wrote books. They wrote stories, and their stories are out there, and you read, it's like, huh? Like, there's one story, I forgot this brother's name. He was sold 17 times. He was sold 17 times. He was biracial. Gosh, I gotta get this brother. I wasn't expecting to talk about it, but his story is so amazing. I remember it. He was biracial. His mother was a slave. His father owned him. His father was the plantation master. And his own father, the plantation master, sold his mother and him separately because the wife hated him and his mother so much. So he had to get rid of him and his mom. Sold his mom. He never saw his mother again. He eventually was sold to different owners because he didn't really was able to fetch anything for him, because he was so light he can pass for white. So what happened was a lot of people wouldn't want to bid on him because they thought he was white. So a lot of times he would be sold after the auctions, and he was sold for basically no money. And he did such a horrible job working in the fields because he was raised as a house slave. And, but again, this is another brother that eventually, I gotta get you his name. He eventually taught himself how to read and write. He escaped, worked his way into Georgia, convinced people that he was white. He ended up having some farmers create him a pass that allowed him to get on a boat, went to England, got an education, came back, and became a professor. This man was sold 17 times. And he ended up becoming a professor. So I just feel like, man, life can be so special, man, if you're just a little bit more focused and you just understand how blessed of a position we are to be living in the time we're living in, man. You said you got to be sick to sit. Yeah, but there was a lot of that going on. 600,000 biracial people were born in 1856. Again, this was when miscegenation was banned, right? It was illegal. But nearly a million biracial people were born in the 1850s. So there was a lot of that going on. And a lot of those people were unfortunately sold into slavery. Some of them got lucky and, went in and became slave owners themselves. All right. But there was a lot of unfortunate things going on. And but in between time, there were a lot of amazing stories. You're like, what? How did this person do that? People traveling the world in the 1800s, black. How the hell? What? You can go back and read about this brother who went to Japan. He became a damn sensei. The man became like not a sensei. samurai. The real, that's like the cartoon, The Black Samurai, is actually based off a real person. It was a brother who was a slave. He was taken out of Angola. He was put on a ship by the Portuguese. The Portuguese went to Japan. They left him there as a gift. And his brother rises to become a fucking samurai. Read that. That's a real story. He fights in like 3 different wars. And all of a sudden, his master ends up dying. And they let him, live his life forever with his freedom in Japan. And nobody sees him again. But this brother rose to become a samurai, a high-ranking samurai in Japan in the early, like, 1200, I think it's like 1200, 1300, something like that. That's a real shit, real story. So man, there's some real deep history. I love Tariq Nasheed's Hidden Colors, but he can't touch all the history. He can't. He's only got 2-3 hours. He can't touch all the crazy history that goes on. People in worse situations. Worse situations. I mean, what else can I mean, of course, the Haitian thing is crazy. There's one story I read in Haiti where there was one battle, where it was like 5,000 French troops against like 600 Haitians. And some of the Haitians didn't even have guns. They had like knives and shit. And these guys were like, and they won. And one part of the battle, the French guy rings, he blows his trumpet. The general comes out and claps. They all clap for the Haitians because how good they were doing. And then they blow the horn again and they start the fighting again. It's a weird ass story, but true. Because back then warfare was different. I mean, but and I don't want to sound somber because there are a lot of people out here doing amazing things, but it would just be nice to see a lot more self-employment in the community because there's so much hopelessness, man. So much hopelessness. When I see 50% of African Americans earning less than $15 an hour, Google that. That's a real statistic. That's in the richest country in the world, man. Like, that's the problem is that the thing about being in business that I've learned now 3 years as self-employed doing e-commerce, you don't even have to be the best. Just being in business creates business. If you have a store, you don't have to be the best, the store that sells the most on the block. Being simply in the right place, providing the right service will make you profitable. Just participating. Right? Just participating. And that enables you to be able to keep up with the rising price of homes, with the rising price of rent, the rising price of food, because you can adjust the prices you provide to be able to still make ends meet. But when you're making minimum wage or you're making a salary or that's not good, that's not already doing you any justice. When prices go higher, you can't adjust. So you lose in the long run. Because you can't maintain as prices continue to go higher. You got people who've been working all year, and in the black community, Christmas is the most hated time of the month. Christmas is probably the fakest time in the black community because everybody, for the most part, hates Christmas because they got to come up out of pocket on money that a lot of people don't have. Christmas is the fakest time of the year in the black community. You got a lot of moms who are stressed, don't know what they're going to do, got to do something strange for a little bit of change this time of year because they've been working all year and now they got to go into the year with empty pockets because you need a PlayStation 4 and you need some new controller and you need a new computer and you need all these bullshit things that they try to bully you in black high schools that oh man, you need this, you need to get this, I'm up on this. While your mom is stressed, your dad is stressed. But they don't want to let you know that money's tight, so they're going to give it to you anyway. And you don't even know that shit, man. They working so hard for this. I don't bother nobody about no Christmas gifts in my family no more. My daughter, I don't even let my daughter. We don't do that Christmas shit around here. Not to say that, Dad doesn't have money. I just don't. I don't want that. I'm going to give you something anyway, but don't tell me that I got to get you something. Don't tell me I got to get you something. We don't do the Christmas thing anyway because I don't talk a lot about my personal religion here, but I don't do that. I don't do that for the most part. I don't do that for the most part. But I'm gonna get you something because I know the pressure at school and at the daycare or everybody wanting, hey, what did you buy? What did you buy? Christmas, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. It pressuring your kids, man. Afro Samurai. Yeah, there it is, Ramses. Afro Samurai. All right. Let me get up off here, man. This is almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I told my girl I was only going to do 30 minutes. I don't know why y'all let me run my mouth like this. Y'all let me run my mouth like this on my podcast. You let me run my mouth like this on my shows. That's why I make such a horrible dinner guest, because everybody, I can't wait to invite Sal over. And then they just like, man, I was trying to get you to leave, but you won't leave. I didn't know what time it was. If you want me to leave, you could have just told me. I got to leave. A lot of people, that's why a lot of people invite me over and they be like, God damn, is this nigga going to leave or what? I mean, just tell me to leave. But I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I gotta get me something to eat. And let's see what the futures market is doing. And I'll be watching the CNBC Europe and CNBC Africa and all them, seeing what else is doing, what's going on. I gotta post some ads. Tonight on this channel. So you might see me post some old black box ads and stuff like that. I gotta get those out tonight. And I'm going to start running some Google ads on this channel, because I was running a lot of them on the other channel that I don't even use no more. But I got to run them on this channel. Somebody said that's where I get better click-throughs. Run them on the channel you're actually using, not on any side channels. He said it's not even power hour yet. You layers. All right. So let me get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. All the people who are in the chat room. Like I said, I'm so blessed to have anybody in here who's going to listen to me. This is an incredible time to be alive, that, you can come on the line and people find something to see and hear and share with you. I'm grateful. Really. I know back in the day there used to be a lot more people in here, but I had to be somebody I wasn't, man. I couldn't talk about no real shit. I couldn't talk about, anytime I say the word black, oh my God, you're talking about racism. Oh, please stop, please. I mean, I get my account suspended, and God damn, it was horrible, man. And I mean, sometimes I would just sit back and I was like, how the hell you following a black dude talking about money, and then you think you wouldn't hear something about race? That don't even make sense. That's why I really feel sorry for guys like what's his name? MKHB. What's the name of that brother that does the Marquise Brownlee? I feel so sorry for Marquise Brownlee, brother. I pray for you, because I know you're going crazy, brother. I mean, you already, I think maybe even calling you a brother sometimes might be too strong. But I know you can't even for a second try to, show anybody that you even a little bit black. I feel sorry for Marquise because I know he, deep down inside, as he gets older, and they don't see him as that kind of young black kid anymore, he's going to revolt. He's going to revolt, and I could see him going on some straight Malcolm X type shit one day. But maybe, I don't know, maybe that Apple money is too good, but brother, I mean, whew, man. No, no, I'm putting that music back on right now. No, let me put that music back on right now. No. Rel, appreciate you, brother. He said, fuck. Laylaw 150, appreciate you. Lawndale Carter, appreciate you. He said you'd be here more if YouTube wasn't on that bullshit. Yeah, I don't know what's that. I thought my channel was being blacklisted, but it's not. It's just, the notifications are always fucked up for everybody. Patrick Lindsay, I appreciate you, Patrick. SC Trucker, thank you so much, sir. Dawson Uber Eats, appreciate you. Who else was in the building? Make Money Stock Trading, appreciate you, sir. Sir Argov. You say you're going to invite me over? That's what's up, man. Ramsey's Cat, appreciate you. Javier Mosby, I appreciate you. See, I talk a lot like my mom. That's the problem. See, a lot of people think, they're ready to talk when they see me. And then I go and I'm like, God damn, this nigga can talk. And then they get tired. You know what I mean? They get tired. I don't, I work 50 jobs. I don't get tired. You know what I mean? Good night, everybody. Eban R took the words out of my mouth. I'll see you guys back here, same time, same place, next Wednesday. Until then, look for a podcast sometime this weekend, either with me by myself or me and my boy John Bogan. All right, boy. Y'all take care. Until next time, trade well.